Yo, what's going on, you guys? Your boy Dwitch back at again with another video. This is another day in my life of me building my business up to $2 million for the year. In this video, we'll talk about the two stores' performance, my thoughts moving into June, and kind of what I'm kind of looking to achieve, I guess, and kind of do, moving forward. And do a rev check as well near the end of the video, so stay tuned. And for anybody that's been asking for the free Discord, want free sauce, just want to talk to me in general, link in the description. It's literally free. Tap in. Enough with that plug. Now let's get into what's going on in terms of the businesses or whatever. So currently for the jewelry store, I kind of brushed on yesterday what performance as a whole looks like, revenue wise. I showed numbers, talked about plans honestly as a whole, but I want to kind of talk about this interesting idea. And it's not an idea that I necessarily came up with, but it's an idea that I've seen that has been working in the past for a good amount of brands, honestly. And it's basically the TikTok shop model. I kind of referenced this and call it, the creative flywheel. And I kind of talked about this briefly, but talking about it in a way of using it for the affiliates as well as getting, a good amount of content. But I never talked about it in the model of going about using it to actually enhance your meta performance. And what I mean by that is, obviously we know that if you use affiliates to promote your product, for the most part, as long as it kind of aligns with your brand, or the creator aligns with your brand in a way, maybe it's the persona, the demographic, or whatever. If you run their ad as a whitelisted ad, so meaning you're running ads on their specific page with your brand, them just holding the product, whatever. So let's say you're selling a dog toy, random influencer named Sarah is holding your dog toy and is promoting it on their page and it says sponsored and it's not your brand page. Likely you're going to get better conversions because just due to the fact that there's a lot of social proof and you're getting, different audience in a way viewing your content, and they don't necessarily see it as a brand selling it to them. It seems like an authentic video being pushed to them, and for the most part they're very likely to buy. And in situations like that as well, because we're getting a lot of affiliates to post our products as well, if we're not talking about the whitelist ad, just in general, just posting our product, if we're able to get a lot of these people that come from these influencers to click on our site, that's literally all we need. We don't even need them to purchase. Obviously it would be great if they purchased, but think about it. If we get these people to just click on our URL, any fucking page, it doesn't even matter what page they click on, and we can just retarget them after, that's going to make our meta very, very profitable. Obviously it's not going to be top of funnel content. The top of funnel would be the organic stuff, but nevertheless our overall ROAS in the business, assuming everything goes according to plan, will be very, very high, because essentially the shift would be, instead of spending 50%, to be honest, all your marketing budget on, not even 50%, 100% of your marketing budget on meta, you kind of shift it and kind of go the TikTok shop approach and go like 60, 70, even 80% of your budget is literally just the affiliate system. So you're just pushing out, sending as much content or product rather to creators as much as possible, getting as much posts up as possible every single month, and getting as much impressions to your page as well as your website. And honestly, I forgot to even mention, when you get a lot of people to your page as well, you can retarget them on meta. So it's a very big win-win when you think about it, and the long-term, short-term, and basically every form you can look at it, because you're not spending that much on advertising. Rather, you're only spending money on advertising when you are retargeting, and you're getting a bunch of eyeballs, and ideally this should be way more profitable than what you got for meta ads. And it's a different angle that a lot of dropshippers aren't necessarily doing on Instagram. They're doing it on TikTok shop, obviously, because that's where it's easier to do, because TikTok shop helps push these videos and helps to rank your product as well. But what if we can bring this approach to Instagram and make it a reality? Obviously this only works at volume, and that's why you're going to potentially, or I'm thinking of potentially shifting our whole marketing spend. Probably not all the way, obviously, because that doesn't make sense to just go cold turkey and cut meta top of funnel and going all into this, but I'm slowly looking to implement this and see how far it can go. Again, I know I talked about this a bit briefly, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, if we can ultimately shift our focus to just mostly be, spending as much money as we can on these affiliates or influencers or whatever, and even if we can get even big influencers to post this product and people click on our, our IG page, we can retarget these people later. Maybe they don't buy right now, maybe they don't buy off the initial post, but those are just people that we consistently have in our funnel that we can retarget with different offers, different shit, and even show them ads of their influencer, wearing the product and saying, yo, this shit is legit, here's your social proof, here are all the influencers that fuck with our shit, here's an offer that you'll like, and or a product that you'll like, and at one point, if they're interested in it, they're gonna buy. And that's going to be very more profitable than targeting cold or traffic. And again, when you're targeting these influencers, you're already targeting what type of audience you're kind of trying to curate for yourself. And in a way, this audience is a bit warmer, even if they didn't click on your ad. Well, actually, they have to click on your ad for this to actually work. But for the most part, as long as they engage right off the bat, they're a warm audience, and it kind of negates the hurdle of having to acquire cold traffic. Therefore, you're going to be a lot more profitable, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like a switch that I'm thinking about. Again, I'm not trying to go cold turkey and do that shit. That doesn't necessarily make any sense to do, because again, our bread and butter is paid ads for our acquisitions these days. But we did dabble into influencers a while ago. We didn't necessarily do the TikTok shop method, but it worked in the past pretty well. We were able to crack like 20K months pretty profitably back in the day. We weren't necessarily, again, doing it at scale, but we're able to, still see the proof of concept. So it's something that we know how to do. We currently already built a system right now. We built it last month. We have a VE finding these affiliates, and, we're taking it really slow right now. We have 3 or 5, I believe, now ready to receive the product. And we're just going to see how far and how well this can perform. And if this is something that makes sense to continue to do at scale and put more budget into it. And while we increase budget on that stuff, we're likely going to decrease budgets a bit on Meta. Maybe we'll even spend, to be honest, we'll even have the potential to even spend on Meta break even at that point, because if we're able to know that the affiliates are going to drive crazy profitable sales, like 30% or 40% of our revenue is affiliates, like low key, we could even acquire customers break even just to push more scale and still be profitable probably at a 20-30%. So it's basically, at that point, you kind of, you're creating a ecosystem for yourself to win. You understand, again, you have 2 levers. You can be as profitable as you want, but not as much scale. Obviously, profitable is what's most important, but if you want to do as much scale as possible, maybe you want to run, Meta very unprofitable, because Google affiliate and email is going to fucking carry you and bring you to that 30-40%, probably 30%, even 25% margin if you're running it at scale. And again, that's something that I'm thinking about actively every single day, if this is something that I want to go deeper in, but the data behind it has to support it and it has to make sense financially. So that's a little bit of something that I'm working on the jewelry store. There's not much to really go over though on that store. I really went in depth yesterday to kind of break down my whole thought process into that. I just want to update you guys on this kind of creative flywheel that not even creative flywheel, but just an overall switch in marketing that I'm thinking to do with the seller product that I'm selling, because again, it's fashion. Fashion also is a type of product that is sold very, very well with influencers, because people love to feel like, they're being included into something. Like, let's say you see a piece of jewelry, everybody's wearing it, every influencer you like is wearing it. You can be like, damn, you're going to get FOMO and be like, yo, maybe I should get this too. Maybe, That's kind of how fashion kind of is. In other industries, niches or whatever, it low-key isn't like that for the most part. But for stuff like fashion, people, for the most part, when they see a lot of people wearing it, they gain interest at a bare minimum. And if they like it, they're obviously going to purchase. So that's a play that we're actively working on for the jewelry store. Not much to really go over on there though. We're still actively testing different concepts, as I mentioned yesterday. So if you want an in-depth look on what I'm thinking about that store, go watch yesterday's video. But yeah, that's the whole little update with that store. What else? Oh, the new store, the health store. Let's get updates on that. So for that store currently, again, we've been creative testing, as you guys know, with that new store, and literally on I don't know when we launched this new creative, but we've been testing creatives, long story short, And we have a creative now that has, fuck, how many? It has 4 sales right now. It is honestly profitable. It should, yeah, it's profitable. Honestly, it's at a 1.79, whereas ideally I'd want it to obviously be higher. The reason for it being so low is because the AOV is hella low. We still have to test out different offers, but it seemed like that creative might have some good potential in it to maybe scale further. I'm going to test sending traffic to a different offer for that creative specifically, and maybe even okay, I guess Nick is letting me go. Yeah, a different, send that creative to a different landing page, or not even different landing page, because it's not even landing page's issue, just to a different offer to see if we could increase the AOV. Because if we can increase the AOV around like $15, not even, it doesn't even necessarily even have to be 15, just around like five five to $10. Those 4 sales would have been extremely profitable, and we could have scaled them we could have scaled them further. So that's what we're looking to do right now. We are going to test that out, see if we can find a better offer, and once we can find that, we will look to scale it. I was thinking of just scaling the creative as is, but again, the ROAS isn't there and the AOV is hella low, so it doesn't necessarily make sense. And yeah, we're just trying to honestly just optimize for the best things as possible for that specific store. We are also in a position where the creative, although it is doing fairly decent, obviously not the best, it can do a lot better, but we are in a position where we can make it better because wait, well, I don't know what I just said, my bad, I was parking. Let me rephrase that. Basically, that creative has a good hook rate. It has a hook rate of 33%, or decent enough, honestly. It gets the job done. But voice crack, what the hell? But the hold rate is fairly low. Like, it's 10%. So it's like 10% of niggas are really, that's how long people are really staying along for the video. The video's 4 minutes. So it's like, we low-key have to make the video more engaging so people watch the video for a longer period of time. And we also have to introduce the product earlier enough, because I feel like if we introduce the product earlier enough and people make it that point, that the drop-off point, then at that drop-off point, they've already seen the product, and at that point, they're likely going to, click on the ad. If, again, it relates to them, people are already clicking onto the ad without having necessarily the best hold rate. So that means obviously some people are making it to the end. Not everybody's making it to the end, but we want a higher percentage of people to make it to, the part where they actually understand what the product is. And because the video is so long, we have to make a bit of iterations to see what iteration is going to allow us to get the most amount of, effectiveness with our ad. Again, we see that it is, getting a good amount of sales right now. Honestly, 4 is not that crazy, but it's getting to the point where it can potentially be a proven ad for us. We can likely scale it up. But again, one, the offer is pretty ass, the AOV is fucked up, and the ad has a shit hold rate, so we need to improve that. But nevertheless, that is a store that I'm actively building as well. It's a newer store, and as you guys can see, throughout this month, we've tested multiple different things. We tested a boatload of creatives. Some of them completely flopped. Some of them did, better than others. We tested some offers. Some offers did better than others. And yeah, we're actively still testing different offers. We have an OG offer that has been working ever since we essentially launched the store, and nothing else has been able to beat that one for whatever reason. So we're still actively looking to split test stuff. And basically what the offer looks like is the main one. My bad, guys, my lips actually shit, but the main one is whatever the price point is. That's the first offer. Then the second one is buy 2 get buy 2 get 1 free. But the issue with that offer is, prior, when we first launched the store, everybody was getting the second offer because it's the most appealing one. Like, buying 2 is like literally 2 times cheaper. Buying 2 plus getting 1 is way cheaper than buying 1 on a per unit basis, because it's literally half of the price for 1. So I thought, okay, we only have those 2 options and it's going to perform a lot better. For whatever reason lately, and I've been noticing it's the UK mainly that's buying this shit. at the lower price point for whatever reason. The Canada is down to pay the higher price point, the higher AOV, but the UK, I don't know, they're being cheap niggas. I think their economy, I've been seeing niggas saying as well, their economy, I believe, is like, I think it's very, very bad. Or not very, very bad, but like the spending power is drastically lower, if that makes sense. No, that's not even that I don't know how to explain it. It's basically that they don't want to, fuck, what is it? Whatever, the spending power, we're just gonna go with that, but y'all probably know what I mean. Their spending power is drastically lower for whatever reason because their economy is not doing the best. So people seem like they don't want to buy the higher AOV product while it's still the higher price point. So that's what we're trying to split test and see if we increase the first offer, the standard price by $10, maybe people will want to opt in for the buy two, buy one free because that's the best offer, bro. You're getting two of the products plus one for free, plus the ebook, plus shipping protection. Like, why the fuck would you not want that for literally an additional price where you're getting, you know what I mean? Like, it just makes more sense in my opinion. But then again, maybe we have to make the price discrepancy from the two a lot closer, so it just doesn't make sense to get the first one. So that's what we're gonna play. Wait, honestly, let me just write that down. Let me write that down. Where's my notes for we're gonna do today? Let's do. Yeah, we'll split test that and see how it does. I don't know how well it's gonna do. I feel like it might shit the bed even more. I don't know. That's why we're gonna split test it and not directly change it. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan here. We're really just trying to hone in on the right offer so we can get our AOV up. Like at this point, the main issue, especially with this new creative that seems like it's performing a lot better than all the other ones, is that it's got for sales at a 1.79 ROAS, but the AOV is like $42. We're trying to get the AOV at a minimum of like $55, um, ideally. And if we can hit that goal, then we'll be straight. And another thing too, we also have a shipping threshold. So it's like we're telling these people, yo, if you spend $60, you get free shipping. And usually on my other brand, that actually works very, very well. We give these options to get, stuff in the cart as upsell. We give people a chance to add shipping protection, all that stuff. But for whatever reason, that's not necessarily working the best on the store. So I think I'm gonna have to also find different upsells to put inside the cart to help boost the shit up. But yeah, that's kind of the whole, issue that we're kind of facing right here. That is, kind of the friction stopping us to kind of get the scale. If we were at like a 55 AOV, to be honest, we'd probably be at we'd be like a two for us. Yeah, we'd be low at a two for us. So that's why I'm trying to test out this different AOV, different offers rather, I should say. And low key, I might also dupe this campaign or creative $100 a day. I low key want to see what happens, but I don't think it's the best idea to do. Um, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I try shit and it works. But yeah, I might just say fuck it and try it out. And because we're using Kachin bundle, fuck, but we can't. I don't think we can change the price. Yeah, we'd have to change the product price manually. Fuck. I think I launched it at $100 a day, 50 each. Make a separate landing page testing different price point. Let me see. Let me write that down. Um, uh, yeah, it's called a scaling campaign with winner. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, if that ad does well, we should be able to stabilize at like 200 a day or some shit. Like, like we're just trying to stabilize at, a good enough like place where we can consistently get a good amount of sales while still also building enough data while we're still testing a boatload of different creatives. Because again, the goal is to get this to 1K days really relatively quickly. And I do want to drop a case study for you guys and show you guys like the trials and tribulations of how long it took to get there. Obviously, like it should have took way shorter. Obviously, that's the whole goal. But sometimes, if you believe in a product and it's proven, you can, and it potentially takes you longer, but you'll get to that price, you'll get to that revenue goal. And once you get to that revenue goal, you know, if you implement things right, you should be able to get to the 5K mark, 10K mark, 20K mark. Like the goal for this is honestly to push this to like 10, 20, 30K days because again, this is a health product, evergreen product, and it's very doable. The TAM, the total adjustable market, like the people that are suffering with this problem, the type of product that we're selling has the room to do that. Whereas the jewelry store that we were selling, it doesn't necessarily have the room to do that. And that's why we're like actively, trying to test for evergreen angle. We're trying to launch new products and it's kind of a game of more volume of products along while trying to maintain evergreen offers so we can scale to that point. And that's the whole goal. Like the jewelry store, the highest ever been able to do was a 17K day, which is like, yeah, 17K day. And while that is, I guess, good, it's not, at this point in my, ecom journey, and that's hence why the creation of the second store, that's not, something that I guess is a accomplishment anymore to me in my eyes. At the time it was, but now, I've learned so much, and, you know, my skill set, not even like to say like I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm the best by any means. I'm aware enough to know that I'm not, you know, anywhere close to being amazing at ecom, but I have some skill level at different aspects of ecom, and I believe that at this point I should be able to do 30K days consistently every single day, and you know what I believe, I have to think that I can do it before obviously I achieve it. So I'm working towards it, and once I hit it, I'm gonna start believing that I can do 100K a day, and then I'm gonna hit that, and I would just push this as far as I can. So I was like, you have to believe that you can do something before you even do it. Obviously, like at this point, like it's basically a how you have to look at this basically when you are thinking of your goals, you have to look at it, okay, what product am I selling? Obviously, you need to make sure that it has a big enough market to do so. Then once you find a product that's validated, it has a big enough market, then look at what creatives you're creating. And from 0 to 100K a month is literally a product and creative game, product market fit game. You're trying to identify what's a good product, a good market to be in, or a big enough problem that you can solve to be able to do 100K a month. And once you do that, you're like, okay, bet I can do that. Now let's look at how we can push this as far as we can. And literally, once you start getting stuff to work, it's only about understanding how much you need to spend to generate the result that you want to generate. If you want to generate 30K a day, you need to spend $15,000 a day. What type of ads are you going to create to spend that amount of revenue a day? It sounds simple, but a lot of people when they brainstorm how much they want to do a month, a lot of people want to sometimes DM me and say, "Yo, I want to do 100K a month." They're like, "How do I do it?" But it's like, bro, you did not have to spend 50K a month. And then people are like, whoa, I have to spend 50K a month. But obviously, because you realize that a base level is going to always be like 2x rods. Like that's what it's usually going to be. Obviously, it can be a lot better. It can be a lot worse. But that's like a baseline to base yourself off, and that's usually everybody's blended target. So like, if you know you're going to have a two rods, then you're gonna have to spend 50K a month, which is like what is that? It's 1.66K a day, I believe. And what type of ads are you gonna, get that's gonna give you the ability to do that every single day consistently? That's kind of how you have to think about it, and that's how I like to think about things as well. Like right now, I want to do 100K months as well. We're stuck. We're in a lower period. We are probably gonna clear like 30 like something this month, which is pretty ass to my standards. We should again be at 100K months. We were doing 50K months prior in January, but we fell off. So now we got to rebuild and build a foundation and grow back up and scale to 100K a month. But I want to do 100K a month and I'm not spending 1.6K a day. Well, whose fault is that? It's my fault. We don't have enough good ads, and likely not even testing a good amount of ads. And, the product might also be there's so many different factors that you have to look at and test to understand what's the whole idea, or what's the issue in your funnel, that you can't necessarily just look at things and be like, damn it, I'm not 100K on. Look at the whole funnel as a whole. Look where you're lacking. For me, specifically for the jewelry brand, what we're lacking on is an evergreen angle that can be scaled, throughout the whole duration of the year. We're good at the gifting angle. We know every Q4 we can push 6-figure months. Cool. That's a good trick to have in our arsenal. We know we're gonna guarantee, push like 500K, minimum that quarter in revenue. But we obviously want to do way more, and how we're going to do way more is to have an evergreen angle that we can push and leverage to be able to get to the 6-figure month for the jewelry store, or maybe even another product. Hence why we're testing that new product that we are developing to see if that product is a product that has a big enough, market so we can scale way farther and be able to push that, envelope of 100K a month way easier. So again, I'm realizing, okay, we have an issue with not being able to scale to 100K a month. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to test a different angle that we've never tested before. Before, I was stuck on doing the same angle over and over and over again. But it's like, bro, if you are doing something for like 3 months and you're not seeing any success, maybe you need to trade up your strategy. Maybe you need to switch things up. Maybe you need to, be more optimistic and look at things, from a broader angle and see, yo, what can I change here to do, something different and hopefully change my business up as a whole. Like that's the biggest issue that I had personally. I was focusing on the same angle consistently, and it wasn't working for, a good amount of time. I was like, yo, what's the issue? I looked at it, I'm like, yo, this angle is only good for Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. That's the only time this angle is good. Otherwise, when people are just chilling, it's fucking summer. Nobody wants to buy a giftable product. Like, for the most part, obviously they have anniversaries, they have this and that. But like, what's an angle that we can use that's always happening every single day that we could plug in our product to sell this, at a good rate? And we identified that we are having issues with kind of coming up with not coming up with a concept, but finding a concept that can scale, and thus whatever. That's kind of a skill issue. We have to work on that and test and iterate on what we see working, and hopefully, we will get to a point where that is no longer an issue, and then we can scale up to 100K a month. And when we get to 100K a month, there's gonna be another problem that we have to solve, and that's all that entrepreneurship is. There's always going to be problems that you're going to have to solve. That's cool. Just brace yourself and just just grind it out, bro. Just grind it out. That's all it is, man. That's all the game is about. Solving problems to get to the next level. Literally all it is. So that's currently where I'm at. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end this video right here, honestly. Appreciate you guys for making this far in the video. You know what time it is. I like to say a special word for anyone that made it this far into the video. If you made this far into the video, say the word. Fuck, it's raining hella, so let's say the word rain. If you say the word rain, that lets me know that you made it this far in this video. You fuck with the videos, as well as you're somebody that is dedicated onto trying to change your life, tie your pants, and just be that fucking nigga, bro. So, again, appreciate you guys for making it this far into the video. Free Telegram in the description. Top in with me. There's literally like 13 people in there. There's like 5K people subscribed. There's hella people that DM me saying y'all want to get into a free Discord. Y'all want me to help you. You want me to do this, but y'all want to join the Discord. How the fuck am I gonna help you? It's literally free. This is your chance. This is your advantage. Tap in. Tap in. That's all I'm gonna say. Tap in. Like, this is an opportunity for you to talk to me. One-on-one, talk to the people in the chat also doing ecom, and this is an opportunity again for you to be with like-minded individuals and just grow together. So if that's you, tap in. If that's not you, cool. Dip if you want, or stay, whatever. But yeah, just have to put that in there because again, people always DM me and say they want this and that, and then when the opportunity arises itself, people want to slack off and not join. So I gotta, keep y'all accountable, as well as keep myself accountable, with these videos. So yeah, that'll be it for the video. Hop on a rev check now. Honestly, today's a very bad day. I don't know what happened, but that's fluctuations that you see when you're not pushing high volume. Today, as you can see, we're down 70%. We'll probably pick it up later in the day. Yeah, I don't know. Very bad day on the first store today. It's normal when you're not at scale again. This is yesterday. We're not spending a high amount of money on, your ad account. You're going to see fluctuations. I like to preface this a lot. So, if you see one day you're at a 5 whereas the next day you're at a 1 point or 0.2, where I was like, bro, chill. You're not spending enough to even, be in the position that you want to be in. So just relax, get to the point where you're spending 1K a day. And then for the most part, what I've seen, in my stores is it's usually more consistent. And yeah, that's kind of like to preface, to like just tell you and stuff like that. But anyways, enough yapping. I be yapping, bro. Second store yesterday. Nothing crazy. Again, we're still testing out. Conversion rate's pretty shit. Hence why we're also trying to test offers today. Not bad. Just gonna see. It's someone from the UK. They're always taking that lower price point. Of course it's UK. And let me check yesterday who actually purchased. Yeah, you see Canada. These Canadian people are down to drop $50. But these UK people, bro, they're being stingy on the boy, which is fine, whatever. We'll find an offer and fix up the offer. But nonetheless, appreciate you guys for watching this video. And yeah, catch y'all in the next video. Appreciate y'all. It's your boy Dwidge. And yeah, take action today. See y'all in the fucking Discord. Y'all better be in the Discord because again, y'all say y'all want it. I made it to y'all request, and I better see y'all boys in it. But nevertheless, appreciate you guys for watching this video. It's been your boy Dwidge back at it again with another What am I doing, bro? I'm yapping. I don't even know why I did the intro again. I do this so much, bro. But anyways, catch y'all in the next video. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll drop a video. I got some like hella errands to run, but I'm gonna try to drop one for y'all. Yeah, peace. Catch y'all in the next video. Yeah.